SEPTA's suburban trolleys are the closest thing Philadelphia has to modern light rail. But modern light rail doesn't usually run right down the middle of the street, in traffic. It doesn't usually have stations this close together, or tracks that cut right through single-family neighborhoods. It usually goes downtown instead of stopping at a transfer point on the edge of the city, and it usually uses more than single-unit trolley cars. The D1 and D2 trolley lines, so named because they run into Delaware County, are light rail lines that break the rules of modern light rail because they're older than the rules. Indeed, they are some of the last remaining interurban streetcar lines in the United States, legacy trolley lines that venture further from their respective downtowns, often, but not always, using dedicated rights-of-way. But has this line become a relic of the past? Or can this 100-plus-year-old system help us rethink light rail in the 21st century? The only way to find out is to go for a ride. The SEPTA D1, known as the 101 until this year, and which we'll be riding today, starts in Media, Pennsylvania, and runs 8.6 miles to 69th Street Transit Center near Philadelphia's city limits. Media is also served by SEPTA Regional Rail direct from Center City, and that's what Calcadon and I are taking to start our journey. And so we have made it to Media. This is Media Station for Regional Rail, and now we're going to walk over to the D1. Media Borough is home to almost 6,000 residents, and is one of my favorite examples of a dense, walkable suburb. One could easily imagine Philadelphia businessmen buying homes here back in the day, then walking to the trolley and riding it to work every day.
It kind of has Pittsburgh vibes, a little bit.
Trolleys on the D1 route started running in 1913, and this line became part of the Red Arrow Line system in 1954, joining its still surviving sister route, the D2 to Sharon Hill, and two now defunct branches to Westchester and Ardmore. We reach State Street, where we spot what makes this end of the line so unique. Rather than having tracks running in traffic lanes, or in a dedicated median, the D1 has a single track straight down the middle of State Street, straddling both lanes of traffic. If you have two lanes of cars, and the track's in the middle, there's not enough room for all three.
Meh?
Yep, in order to coexist, private automobiles on State Street have to pull over to let trolleys pass, as seen here. If someone proposed doing this on a new light rail today, they would probably be laughed out of the planning department, but apparently they were able to get away with it early last century. Like the subway surface trolleys downtown, the D1 features trolley cars manufactured by Kawasaki, though unlike their urban counterparts, these feature pantographs and have cabs on both ends. They're not articulated, and they usually run as single units, though occasionally you'll see them in pairs. Another very unmodern feature this line has is frequent stop spacing, with one stop every couple of blocks in Media, more like a bus than a modern light rail. Outside what is perhaps the coolest looking Trader Joe's I've ever seen, Calcadon and I wait at a signpost. There really isn't more to this stop than that. It is worth noting that the D1 is not wheelchair accessible, although SEPTA's trolley modernization project has aimed to roll out wheelchair accessible vehicles along the line in the future. Soon a car pulls up and we tap to board. Seats are plush and face opposite directions, allowing half of all passengers to be facing forward at any given time. Rolling down the middle of a street lined with parked cars, we spot a car pulled over, waiting for us to pass. Providence Road Station marks the end of street running, and the beginning of the ubiquitous stone shelters along the D1. We pass a westbound car and plunge into the woods, quickly picking up speed as we roll along the double-tracked right-of-way. Here I'd like to take a moment and thank my generous Patreon supporters, who get early access to videos and bonus content, for sponsoring this video. I'd also like to give my creator shoutout this week to 29 Down the Line. Go check out their channel if you haven't already. This video is part of their Tramuary project, an effort across transit YouTube to celebrate streetcars, trams, and light rail in the month of January. Stations continue to be spaced close together, with stops only by request. A little ways down the line, I pull the cord to request a stop at Paper Mill Road, the least used rail station on SEPTA, with a mere 15 riders per day per Wikipedia. Did you know this is the least used station on the entire SEPTA network?
So now you choose to tell me that after bringing me out here in the dark?
It's not dark!
The sun is gone. Where do you want the sun to go after this? We can't see. After this is blindness. Okay, I'm struggling so that we can create content for you. Like and subscribe and share.
There really isn't much to see here. The platform features a shelter which smells like marijuana, a bench, a wastebasket, a post for bikes, and a tactile strip at the edge of the track. Signage alerts riders that the route has recently been renamed from the 101. And the nearby Smedley Park allows passengers to enjoy nature, if they feel so inclined.
Have you ever been bitten by these things? They're very bad. It's right there. It's a python. I see crocodile. There's frogs in here. And I heard something. Look what's running over there. I came to America for a better life. Now I'm in the woods. No more National Geography. I'm going back to Philly. Peace.
Back on the move, we service the Springfield Mall, whose parking lot extends onto a platform overlooking the forest right-of-way down below. We're now in Springfield Township, and for the next several miles, the D1 runs through dense suburbia and right along people's backyards. As a 21st century light rail rider, this feels unusual. Many light rail lines built today utilize existing street or roadway corridors, or else reuse old rail infrastructure. But it's rare to have a dedicated right-of-way, woven as this is, into the surrounding fabric of single-family homes and backyards. Stops continue to be by request and closely spaced, as we reach Drexel Hill and link up with the D2 from Sharon Hill. We run northeast into Upper Darby, serving increasingly commercial development, before finally ending at the 69th Street Transit Center. In all, a trip from Orange Street in Media to 69th Street takes about 30 minutes, and from here, riders can transfer to the L into Center City, the M into Norristown, or a plethora of bus routes. The D1 is an interurban, a product of a very different time, when these sorts of trains were an everyday part of life in eastern Pennsylvania, and when electric rail transit was integral to the development not just of downtowns, but also smaller towns and places where people wanted to buy individual homes with backyards. It was, and is, a handy route between homes, jobs, shops, and third spaces. It has the convenient stop spacing of a bus, meaning you never have to walk very far between a station and a destination, with the speed of a light rail, largely separated as it is from regular traffic. Now, I feel like sometimes we in the urbanist advocacy community give people of the past a lot of credit for developing neighborhoods based around pedestrians and transit users. This was their primary clientele. Car ownership was still relatively new, so it wasn't a huge step to make people-centric living spaces even outside of Center City. But the D1 and the corridor along it are nevertheless an inspiration to us today, allowing us to think creatively about the role the interurban could play in building the cities and suburbs of tomorrow. Perhaps future plans for light rail projects should think smaller. Smaller vehicles and smaller stop spacing with full grade separation, surrounded by dense development and ending with a transfer to a bigger, faster line. New Jersey's Hudson Bergen Light Rail checks some of those boxes, and it's doing pretty well for itself. Yes, Avery, I know you were already writing a comment about that. Of course, there are plenty of trade-offs to building a line like this as well. It's expensive to build grade-separated rail compared to just running better bus service. And in lower density areas such as Media, modern homebuyers are probably only going to use even the best light rail for very specific trips, and opt for their cars for the rest of the time. Frequency can be an issue if you have to wait 20 plus minutes for a trolley. And add in the prospect of having to make a transfer to get into the city, and you'd probably lose a fair bit of interest. Still, truth be told, I would love to live in a world where new light rail projects branched out from just light metros or upgraded streetcars. Again, the Hudson Bergen Light Rail is a great modern example of this, and there are benefits and drawbacks to every implementation of light rail. Regardless, I do think that the D1 is worth a ride. Whether you're a transit enthusiast looking to relive the past, an urbanist looking to reimagine the future, or a Philadelphian just needing a little escape into nature.
This thing's fake. It's not foofing like the other ones.